I dreamed of a happy life with my fiancé. I won't let you go. I love you, I told him, thinking I knew everything about him. Where was he 7 years ago? Let him explain. But someone else's past mistakes can completely destroy my life. I know everything about Vanya. Max, you're disgusting. I hate you. I'm Olga Bilous, 30 years old. I raised my child alone after my divorce and finally met a decent man, or so I thought. I wanted him to meet my father, but something unexpected happened. Who's come to visit us? My father asked when we arrived. Grandpa, happy birthday. I drew this myself, my son said. Thank you, this is the most precious gift for Grandpa. Then my father saw my boyfriend and the atmosphere changed instantly. Ivan? My father said coldly. Ivan, Kolya, Ivan replied uncomfortably. Grandson, I've prepared a surprise for you. Go look in the hallway. As soon as my son left, my father turned to Ivan. You have no business being here. Dad, what's happening? I asked, confused. I better leave, Ivan said. I didn't understand anything. Ivan and my father were so aggressive, ready to tear each other apart. I didn't immediately realize that's how people who've had a conflict behave. The next morning, my mother came to take my son to kindergarten. My story surprised her. I don't know what to think, I told her. I tried talking to Dad, but he was celebrating as if nothing happened. He and Urka avoided me all evening. I don't like any of this, Mom said. What does Urka have to do with it? Maybe she and Vanya had something going on, and that's why Dad is jealous? Urka's been around. Kolya isn't even her 21st. I couldn't sleep all night thinking about it. Following my mother's advice, I decided to talk to Ivan about the restaurant incident, but at the hospital, I met an unexpected visitor, my father. It was clear he had come to see Ivan, but why? Fighting over Urka? I was afraid Ivan and I would have to break up because of this. When I finally talked to Ivan, our conversation didn't go well. Where do you know Irina from? I asked. What are you asking me? I understand everything clearly, I said bitterly. You and Urka are lovers. I'm such a fool. You're still sleeping together. Although Ivan didn't answer my question, it became clear he was only thinking about Urka. How stupid I had been all this time. In the evening, my father visited me unexpectedly. Ivan is not the person you need, he told me. I know everything, I interrupted. You don't need to explain. What do you know? That Urka and Ivan were lovers and probably still are. Dad, this is disgusting. I understand why you behaved that way with Ivan. I remembered how Dad retired, opened a security agency, got money, and then Urka, whom he occasionally dated behind Mom's back, quickly became his official wife. At work, I could only think about yesterday's conversation with my father. During lunch break, my thoughts were interrupted by an unexpected meeting with my ex-husband. What are you doing here? I asked coldly. Don't be angry. I wanted to see you. If those were roses, I would throw them away. These are your favorites. It would be a shame. Goodbye, Max. Olya, I've changed. I've really become different. I want you back. I'm constantly thinking about you. Maybe I can drive you, and we can talk in the car? We've talked about this 100 times. Besides our child, nothing connects us. I can get home myself. I really regret we're not together. I understand why you came. Daddy made an effort, right? I've broken up with Ivan, but that's my problem. The fact that Daddy adores you and you have joint business is yours. I won't change my decision. I've been through our divorce hard. I still see that terrible scene. Mikita and I enter Max's office, and he's having sex with his secretary. I was on antidepressants for 6 months. Didn't want to live. That evening, I arranged to meet Ivan at home after work. I decided to pick up Mikita from daycare early to prepare something delicious for dinner. But suddenly, good afternoon. I'm here for Mikita Polozenko. Don't worry, his father already picked him up. His father? You gave my child to my ex-husband? I wrote a statement specifying that only I pick up the child. I'm sorry, I'm new here. I didn't know about your situation. Maybe you gave my child to a stranger? No. Mikita ran to his dad, hugged him, was happy. My heart almost stopped. I felt something had happened to Mikita. When I finally got home and saw my son was safe, I couldn't hide my anger. Why did you take the child? You know I'm against it. I'll deprive you of parental rights. You're still as hot-tempered. That turns me on. I called you 100 times. Why didn't you answer? So you wouldn't nag me. I was shocked that Max suddenly decided to control my personal life. I couldn't give him that satisfaction. That night, Ivan told me his secret. You would have found out anyway. It's better I tell you myself. 7 years ago, I was released from prison. Oh God, I knew it. False accusation. Someone committed a robbery. They tried to cover for him and pinned everything on me. How did Max find out? Your dad is a former cop. He found out. Vanya, how did they hire you at work? My internship supervisor became the head doctor. If they find out about my conviction, he'll be the first to go. I see. Dad threatened him too. Your father gave me a choice. Either you or work. I told you what I've been trying to forget for many years. I'm sorry. I have to go. I won't let you go. I love you. I believe you and I can't be without you. I need to be alone. Understand me. I always avoided communicating with people with a prison past, but here I was in deep. I loved him and thought, not everyone comes out of there a moral degenerate. But my mind said, don't expect anything good from an ex-con. My mother saw me in an extremely depressed state the next morning. I took sedatives because of Mikita, I told her. Not only that, Vanya told me yesterday he was behind bars on a false accusation. That doesn't make it any easier for me. One cheats, the second was in prison, and the third will turn out to be gay. Daughter, you can't avoid troubles and misfortunes. Everyone has skeletons in their closet, believe me. I decided to listen to my mother and not worry. What was the point of torturing both myself and Ivan? I was good with him, although I was probably too careless. At the daycare, Mikita was given a referral for vaccination. Ivan offered to take him to the clinic. Later, during my lunch break, my father invited me to a restaurant. I know Vanya was in prison. He told you himself? Yes. What else didn't he tell you? That he was framed? Your Ivan is a liar. He was correctly accused back then. Dad, I know our justice system. Do you remember when you asked why I got so angry at my anniversary? It's not because Ivan and Urka are lovers. There's nothing between them. The matter is completely different. I personally locked up your Ivan, and Urka was a witness to the crime. She remembered him well. That's how we met. You can't trust your Ivan. I left feeling terrified. I scolded myself for leaving my child with a criminal. After all, Max had warned me. My father's words gave me no peace. I caught a taxi and went after my child. When I arrived at the clinic, Mikita was fine, but I couldn't hide my anger. I know everything about you. My father told me. Your clever father, Ivan muttered. Don't you dare talk about my father like that. You're not worth his fingernail. I always imagined criminals as scary guys, but Ivan was calm and imperturbable. I lost my vigilance and trusted him too much. The next day, I got an unexpected call from Irina saying my father had been beaten and was in the trauma unit. I was afraid I might lose him forever. At the hospital, Dad looked bad but tried to reassure me. Don't worry, daughter. It's not the first time. It will heal. Maybe local thugs? No, this looks like revenge. Ivan's revenge, 100%. Call Sergeyevich. We'll go to the police station to file a report. I just then realized how careless I had been letting Ivan into my life. My father was expecting another visitor, Max. Who is this freak? I'll find him and bury him, Max said angrily. Don't play hero. This is a personal offense. You're like a father to me. I thought Max would stab me with the fact that I slept with my father's enemy, but I appreciated that he kept quiet. I started to respect him. Unexpectedly, after a few days, I had a new reason to think about my ex-husband. Mikita told me Vlad is bullying him. They used to be friends, his teacher told me. Mikita can't fight back, so the boys bully him. He's not a coward, but he lacks courage. Excuse me, but Mikita shows feminine upbringing, your grandmother's. It's bad when there's no father around. Even without the teacher, I understood that the boy needed a father figure. But how to forgive Max's betrayal? Could I give him a new chance? these thoughts didn't leave me. The next day, my father was feeling better and mentioned that the police had issued an alert for Ivan. By the way, your Ivan is already wanted throughout the region, so he won't escape now. While my father was in this state, Max convinced him to give him a position at his company. The next day, I agreed to have dinner with Max. I convinced myself to return to my ex-husband, but my soul protested. The painful wounds still hurt. Open it, Max said, handing me a small box. This is too expensive a gift. You are the most precious to me. Put them on. You deserve the most expensive gifts. I don't even know what to say. Just say yes. Max, I'm not ready yet. Keep the earrings for yourself. I was hoping, but I just like making you happy. Max tried so hard. Such an expensive gift indicated serious intentions, but I couldn't forget his betrayal. Upon learning of my daughter's intentions, my mother began to sound the alarm. I wasn't ready for such pressure. Daughter, don't go back to Max. He's not who you think he is. First, I haven't agreed yet. Second, you're all tearing me apart. Dad pushes me toward Max. You do everything to keep us apart. No one thought about me. Dad wanted to keep money in the family, to pass it to Makita, so he married us in his dreams with Max. Mom didn't like Max from the beginning, and when Max cheated on me, she was glad we divorced. The next day, I went to the hospital to help my father with his discharge. What happened next was like thunder from a clear sky. Your Ivan has already been caught. He's in pretrial detention. The trial will be in a few weeks. I loved him so much. Dad, and he betrayed me. Daughter, don't be upset. Everything will work out. The main thing now is not to let Max slip away. You see how hard he's trying to please you. Suddenly, my father got a call about a search at his office. He had to leave immediately. I offered to take his things home, which led to an unexpected discovery. When I entered my father's apartment, I caught Urka having sex with Max. Damn it! How did you teleport here? Who let you in? What are you doing in someone else's house? This is my father's apartment. What is this jerk doing here? Don't act tough. Your father's company is being searched, and you're having fun here. I hope you have the sense not to tell anyone about this. Are you kidding me? I won't deny myself such pleasure. I regretted not getting my phone out to record them. At that moment, I barely restrained myself from killing the unfortunate lovers. At home, my mother tried her best to bring me back to my senses. Daughter, I must tell you that Kolya pinned another person's crime on Vanya. He was saving Max. What? How? Max arranged a work party before the wedding, got drunk like a pig, and got into a fight, crippling a passerby. Vanya happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Did Dad really do this? To save Max? Remember, Vanya's parents came to us. They begged Kolya not to put Ivan in jail. Your wedding was coming up. Kolya couldn't let his future son-in-law go to prison. Mom, forgive me, but why didn't you intervene? You never liked Max. Daughter, I never had the right to vote. Kolya always suppressed me. What should I do now? How will I look Ivan in the eye? Mom stunned me with this news. I shamed Urka and Max for their betrayal, but I turned out to be no better. Could Ivan forgive me after all this? I didn't know. I went to confront my father at his office. You bastard, I hate you. You're no longer my father to me. I often act spontaneously. As my mom says, I act first and think later. But then I didn't regret telling my father everything that hurt. Persistent as I am, I managed to get a meeting with Ivan in detention. But could he forgive me? Ivan, I'm very ashamed, disgusted. I behaved like a real traitor. Don't blame yourself. In your place, I would have believed my father too. That's why I was afraid you wouldn't forgive me. Olya, I want you to know I never touched your father. It was someone else. Who set you up then? Now I can only answer that my father is in intensive care. The doctor called. Heart attack. I won't go. You should be with him. He ruined your life and you feel sorry for him. The visit is over. Stand up. I'll get you out. I promise. I love you. I was desperate. Despite promising Ivan to get him out of detention, I didn't know how to do it. Following Ivan's advice, I went to see my father in the hospital, though I still couldn't control my emotions. Daughter, you have to get Ivan out. What are you talking about? He attacked and crippled me. It wasn't him. I believe Ivan, unlike you. Have you seen Max recently? Of course I've seen him. In your bed with Urka. They've been putting horns on you for a long time. Well, he dug his own pit, so he'll answer for it. There's a green folder among my papers at home. Max's case. Open it. Read it. I think you'll find it interesting. All these years you've kept his case. Old cop habit, keeping everyone by the balls. Hope appeared that Ivan would be rehabilitated for that conviction, and thanks to my father, he could be pulled out of detention. The next day, I went to my father's home to get the folder with compromising material on Max, but there I found an unexpected scene. Urka with a beaten face. What happened to your face? Was it Max? I have a concussion. My head hurts. I don't remember how long I've been lying here. Why did he beat you like this? I wouldn't let him in. I begged him not to leave, and he just knocked me out. Where is he now? Probably at the airport. His flight is soon. I learned such details about my ex that my hair stood on end. But the most shocking discovery awaited me. Did he find the green folder? Yes, and took it with him. Was this the end of my chance to save Ivan? I went to my father with nothing. My heart was breaking into pieces. Would Ivan remain behind bars? My friend from the old job found out something. Our Max was running kickback schemes at the firm. That's why they raided it. What do we do now? I don't know. He probably destroyed the folder. Just then, I got a call from an unknown number. It was Ivan. They were releasing him. They had caught the drug addicts who beat up my father, and they caught Max with them, right at the airport, with the green folder. Will Max only go to jail for the beating? Don't worry, daughter. I'll give all the necessary testimony in Ivan's case. What if they put you in jail? Then I'll answer for what I did. I couldn't imagine what I would tell Mikita about his father. I couldn't lie, but the truth could hurt him. I decided that Max would be on a long business trip, and when my son grew up, I would tell him the truth. From the hospital, I rushed home. I wanted to see Ivan and treat him to a delicious dinner. How's your father? He asked. Fine. The lawyer promises a suspended sentence, given Dad's merits and health condition, and he said your conviction will be canceled. I'm tired after my bath. I'm not much of a conversationalist right now. Then listen, and I'll talk. I'm ready to listen to you endlessly. Suddenly, Ivan got down on one knee. Will you marry me? I've wanted this for a long time, and nothing will separate us. Ever. It turned out Vanya is my perfect match. He's calm, I'm explosive. He's a doctor, I'm an unbalanced, crazy advertiser. And no matter how people and circumstances interfered, we're still together.